Well, we now, after the various keynote addresses, we now move on to the first panel session, which is going to start right away. As we are all aware, the topic is about catalyzing entrepreneurship and innovation. We have all the esteemed panel members ready. It's my pleasure to request all of them to kindly come over to the podium. I would request the moderator, Mr. Vishal Verma, Managing Director, Edgewood Networks, to kindly come over. Welcome to you, Mr. Vishal. Also, the panelists consisting of Mr. Ganapathy Subramaniam, CEO of Cosmic Circuits, Mr. Rajendra Kumar Khare, Chairman and Managing Director, SureWaves Innovations Private Limited, and also Mr. Andrew Kai, Head of Asia, William Blair and Company. Well, I think we must do a little bit of clapping yoga. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vishal Verma. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2013 Vision Summit and to the panel on catalyzing entrepreneurship and innovation. Our panel is very timely. I think we heard from Libutan about entrepreneurship and the wave of entrepreneurs that are coming into Bangalore and into India. Alongside with that was Dr. Ajay Kumar's talk in outlining the framework from the government's incentive side, from all the way from design companies to manufacturing companies. Today's panel will highlight how can India build a successful entrepreneurial ecosystem in an innovation economy. What is missing? What is really the missing factor in this? Is it the mindset of the entrepreneurs? Are we just focusing on a service economy, not on an innovation economy? So those are some of the questions that we will be answering this afternoon. We have here today a very distinctive panel of entrepreneurs as well as of investors, and we will share with you how they've done it, what are they doing, and how are they facilitating entrepreneurship in India. So today we have Mr. Raj Khare, founder and chairman of SureWave. Previously he was managing director of Broadcom and co-founder of Our Media. Our Media was acquired by Broadcom in 1999. Also we have Mr. Gani Subramaniam. Gani, he's the CEO of Cosmic Circuits. Gani also holds senior management positions at Texas Instruments, including as the director of the Mixed Signal Technology Center. And finally, we have Andy Kay, who heads the practice for William Blair in Asia. Andy has been involved with financing, selling, as well as taking technology companies public in 4 continents, from US to Europe, as well as Israel and Asia. He's a frequent visitor to India and has a truly global view on business and markets and opportunities. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the panel. We would like to keep this as an interactive session on this panel. So the way the format is, the next 30 to 40 minutes, we'll be having a discussion about really catalyzing entrepreneurship and innovation. And then we'll open up to the audience for question and answer. So Raj, I would like you to take the first question. From a 30,000-foot level view, and this is actually a very important question because the whole afternoon as well as tomorrow will be based on entrepreneurship as well as in the ESDN space. The question, Raj, is what is the importance of innovation-centered entrepreneurship for India in the present ESDN context? Raj.
Hello. I think it's on.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah. When you talk of importance of this entrepreneurship and innovation, I think today morning we had a very scintillating talk from our chief guest, Mr. Mohandas Pai, and he highlighted a couple of very important macroeconomic parameters, where he mentioned that how the Indian economy is today GDP is $2 trillion. And on a PPP terms, it is 4.6. Now, in this context, if you just go back, some time back, I'd just like to draw a slight big picture around that. About 300 years back, okay, India used to be, I don't know how many of us really realize that, used to be contributing to about 25% of GDP, worldwide GDP. And that had been steadily going down. And way back in 1990s, it came down to a pretty low figure. And now it is about, in the PPP terms, about should be about 5%, it constitutes about 5% of the worldwide GDP. So, and in terms of PPP, but however, the good thing is that we are number 3. US, China, followed by India. So that's something to be, feel good about. But at the same time, what we have to see is that we are more than 1 billion people. Okay? So in terms of per capita, we are at about the 140th position in the world in terms of per capita nominal GDP. So that's an alarming signal. Though put together, we are a very large economy, but we have so many people. And further beyond, in terms of entrepreneurship, there are these global indexes. We are ranked somewhere around in the 70s out of 90-odd countries that they kind of measure. And in innovation, we again are similarly ranked in somewhere around 65 or so. So we are way down in terms of per capita. We are way down in terms of entrepreneurship. We are way down in terms of innovation. Now, that's a reality that we as a country need to be able to tackle. Now, we heard big vision, where Dr. Ajay Kumar spoke about that we need to be able to fill that gap of $200 billion plus or $300 billion plus trade deficit. And, there is a whole lot of, there are jobs to be created in the country. Now, this is where, okay, we are talking about that, and the whole policy about what the government of India has kind of laid down is that we want to be a player, not simply a manufacturing player, so that you reduce the trade deficit. But the whole game plan, the whole thought process, the whole dream is about you want to be a value-added player, okay? The focus and emphasis is on value addition. Now, this is where, having seen this context, how is that going to happen? And that's where the role of innovation and entrepreneurship, that comes in. Because without this, there is no value addition. If there's no value addition, there is no way you can actually, there is no product, or there's no value addition in terms of IP or products being created here, then there is no way you can shift the weight of manufacturing or weight of the economic activity within the country. So the most important piece in the large scheme of things is having entrepreneurial activity here, which is very much just not entrepreneurial activity, but entrepreneurial activity which is innovation driven, which is adding value. Okay? So this is the context where we are. And another context I'd like to draw is that in terms of the job creation opportunities, now we again, as responsible citizens of the country, have to see that the need to create, again, we are a very large country, need to create jobs. We need to be adding about 10 million jobs or 1 crore of jobs every year for the next 10 years so that our people, the young population that is coming up, is employed. Now, for this job creation factor as well, you would find that the government sector is not adding jobs. The number of jobs is really falling down there. The number of jobs in large corporations, large private corporations, is also almost steady. So where do these new jobs come from? There again, it's a global experience that the number of jobs that are added in any economy, they are added by new enterprises, new young enterprises who will grow to a certain extent and will become steady state again. So the idea about entrepreneurship and, very important, innovation driven is where we will be able to create value addition and thereby tackle our per capita income challenge and create jobs which are very much needed. So in the overall context of things, what we want to achieve as a country can only be achieved. I think the most important element in that, we are, when we come down to executing it, when we come down to really how to do this, how to realize it, that's where the most important piece of the puzzle is entrepreneurship with a very high degree of innovation, which will help us lead. Now the IESA new logo talks about taking India to ESDM leadership. This leadership is again going to be possible only because of this single element. So this is the importance part. I want to draw that what we are talking about is if we do not do it, we are a non-starter. If we do it, it's a game changer. We really get down to the top of the world where India was 300 years back.
So I like your theme about value addition. So Gani, if I can ask you a question in terms of from a micro level or even in terms from a macro level, what areas do you believe that entrepreneurs, especially young entrepreneurs in the audience, can focus on in terms of focus on areas that are building really value propositions for companies both domestically as well as international markets?
Good afternoon. So in terms of the areas to focus, it's been already articulated very well by the previous speakers, starting from Ajay Chowdhury to Libu Tan, and also the IBM Gary from IBM. I think if I have to choose certain areas where to focus on in the semiconductors and electronic space, I wouldn't probably like to compete with Taiwan or China in consumers. I would probably pick certain markets which is where there is a domestic market. For example, one good example would be energy meter. So we can make these chips, and all the makers of energy meters are based in India. So you can take these chips and really get a design in or win in India, and thereby immediately capturing a reasonably large market. But as the previous speakers today in the morning outlined, we have a large gap. We still don't have a credible fabless company in India. We still don't have an electronics company which has got a huge brand. We are just starting in those places with companies like Tejas Networks, but we have still a large gap to close. So the first and foremost is identify local markets where we have electronic equipments locally manufactured, like energy meter as one example, and see whether you can start building the chips, SOCs for those markets. The other possible areas would be, again, I would say energy is a very a local problem. So for example, in India, the kind of problems in energy which might be very unique compared to Western markets. For example, in Germany, you would generate a power through solar panel and send it back to the grid and then take the power back from the grid, right? But in India, you might not want to send it back to the grid because you have always power cuts. You want to store it, reuse it as much as possible. So this is a unique problem with respect to India, and thereby a lot of innovations can come. And again, these are all the areas which probably I would like to focus. Apart from, again, want to reiterate, Libu clearly iterated mobility is an area of focus. Gary iterated several markets, starting from set-top box, tablets, smartphones, NFCs, the cards for Aadhaar. All this would be an attractive market to start with. But if I have to pick few, it will be where there is a large domestic market, where I can get the design ins and wins in India.
So Andy, you've got a lot of experience in international markets. Just continuing on Gani's reply, from an international perspective, what markets would you figure out in terms of in India that Indian entrepreneurs should focus on?